Jian was talking nonstop. In the car, after a long evening dinner with her coworkers and their obnoxious boss, she vented her frustrations freely, not noticing her daughter sitting quietly beside her. That so-called boss of mine, just because he parachuted into the position, he thinks he knows everything. She scoffed. He walks around the site acting like he owns it, making everyone nervous and distracted. Honestly, he's a hazard to both safety and sanity. Hyo-ri sat still, hands on her lap, staring out the window. Her mother continued, and that Sun young girl, she's constantly flirting with the rock team leader, like, every day. I mean, it was cute at first, now it's just horror. He won't even look at her, but she refuses to give up. She laughed bitterly at her own story. But Hyo-ri's voice broke through, soft but clear. Why do you live like that? Jian froze, turning to her daughter. What do you mean, why do you live like that? Hyo-ri repeated, working for people who don't respect you, forcing yourself to smile, trying to please a boss who doesn't care, all while forgetting to come home. The words sank deep. I'm scared, Hyo-ri said. Jian's face softened. Scared of what? I'm scared I'll end up like you, she whispered. I'm scared that one day I'll be so used to suffering that I won't even notice it anymore. That I'll keep sacrificing until there's nothing left. Jian tried to laugh it off. I just wanted to give you a better future, something I never had. But what if I don't want that kind of future? Hyo-ri looked at her. What if I'm already too tired to chase it? There was a pause. Then her voice cracked, trembling. What if I don't even have a future, Mom? Silence fell over the car like a blanket. Jian turned slowly. I'm sorry, she said. I've been so busy trying to earn other people's approval. I never stopped to ask if you were okay. I don't want to live your life, Hyo-ri whispered. But I also don't want to lose you. Sometimes, strength isn't in pushing forward, but in admitting you're scared. It was supposed to be a simple call. Lee Jian just wanted to check on her daughter's tuition status. Hello, I'm the mother of Lee Hyo-ri, a medical student. I'm calling to ask about the payment for the second semester, she said politely. But the answer she received stunned her. Ma'am, according to our records, Lee Hyo-ri has withdrawn from school. What? Jian's voice trembled. That must be a mistake. Could you please check again? She pleaded. You must be mistaken. My daughter is in her third year, Lee Hyo-ri. But there was no mistake. Her daughter had officially dropped out. Heart-pounding, Jian immediately called her. Hyo-ri, where are you? I just spoke to your school. What is this? They said you dropped out. Her daughter's voice was calm. Too calm. I told you before, Mom. Medical school was never my dream. It was yours. What are you talking about? Do you know how hard it was to get into that school? Jian shouted, frustration and heartbreak colliding. I went along with it because it was your wish. But I've had enough. I'm done, and I've left home, too. Don't look for me, Hyo-ri. The line went dead. Elsewhere, Hyo-ri sat with her friend, forcing a small smile. Well, it's official. I've withdrawn, and my mom had no idea. Her friend chuckled, trying to lighten the mood. So this is your version of running away from home? Honestly, it's kind of iconic. I needed to escape, Hyo-ri said. From school, from home, from expectations I never chose. As they talked and joked about strict parents and long lectures, the pain simmered quietly beneath the surface. Guilt for hurting her mother. Anger at being trapped in a life not of her making. They eventually arrived at the sea. Hyo-ri stood before the waves, her eyes soft. This is the ocean, she murmured. A symbol of freedom. A place where she could finally breathe, without pressure, without titles, without anyone telling her who to be. Meanwhile, Jian sat alone at the dining table, phone still in hand, the screen dark. Her heart heavy with a question she didn't want to face. When did I stop recognizing my own daughter? With slightly trembling hands, Jian opened her mobile banking app. She had already entered the amount, enough for meals, emergencies, and a little extra. It wasn't just money, it was a message. Go, if that's what you need. But don't think you're alone. She pressed send, but the screen flashed red. Error. What now? She muttered and quickly made her way to the nearest bank. I'm sorry, ma'am, the clerk said politely. The account under Lee Hyo-ri was closed. As of last night, the funds were fully withdrawn before the closure. Jian let out a deep sigh. So she really planned this well, she whispered. Even closed her account to run away. She let out a dry chuckle. My daughter, thorough, as always. A clean escape, fully funded. Later, she found herself at a small restaurant owned by a close friend. A familiar place, where comfort came not just from food, but from listening ears. Over a modest lunch, Jian finally let it all out. If I ever see that kid again, she muttered, poking at her side dishes, I won't scold her. But I won't hug her either. Let her feel what it's like to make her mom go mad. Her friend laughed. Classic working mom rage. You're angry because you love her. But she probably doesn't know that, because you're always busy. Jian fell silent. I worked for her. Everything I did was for her. Her friend looked at her gently. But sometimes kids don't need money. They just want time, a moment. The words pierced deep, quietly, gently. Uninvited, but necessary. As they stepped outside after the meal, Jian spoke again. Today I went to the bank to send her money. I just wanted to show her she's free to go, if that's what brings her peace. Then why do you look so sad? Her friend asked. Because now I realize, I gave her permission to leave, but I wasn't ready for her not to come back. Outside the restaurant, Jian looked up at the darkening sky. Her daughter might think running away was her only escape. But for a mother, no place is ever too far to stop loving her child. It's just that sometimes, that love doesn't get said in time. White smoke poured out from the hood of the car. Hyo-ri and her friend Soo-ki quickly pulled over on a quiet village road. They stepped out, exchanging anxious glances. This thing is going to explode soon. Soo-ki panicked. Haven't you seen movies? Smoke means boom. Hyo-ri frantically tried to use her phone. No signal. I can't call anyone. Soo-ki bit her lip nervously. This car, I borrowed it from my dad. My mom doesn't even know. If it's wrecked, I'm dead. They stood helplessly. The road was empty, not a single car or person in sight. But then, girls, a warm voice called from a distance. Two middle-aged women approached them briskly. Is everything all right? You're not from around here, are you? Their kind faces softened the tension. One of the women gently patted Hyo-ri's shoulder. Don't worry, everything can be fixed. A broken car is not the end of the world. It's overheating and smoking, Hyo-ri replied softly. Oh dear, that sounds serious. But don't worry, in this village, many hands make light work, one of the women said with a wink. But first things first, have you eaten? Eat? Soo-ki blinked in surprise. Yes, full stomachs come before fixing anything. Come on, you're our guests now. Though hesitant, the two girls followed them into a cozy and lively little house. The smell of home-cooked food greeted them at the door. Inside, more villagers, mostly women, were bustling about, preparing food. Here, eat, one of the ladies said, scooping soup into their bowls. Make yourselves at home. Soo-ki leaned toward Hyo-ri and whispered, it's like we've stepped into another world, warm, welcoming, and everyone smiling. As they ate, the women chatted and laughed, teasing each other about husbands who couldn't fix tractors and complimenting the girls on their beauty and good manners. You're so pretty and polite. You must be smart, too, right? Hyo-ri only smiled faintly. Behind her smile was something deeper, relief, yet pain. This world was nothing like the one she came from. There was no pressure, no competition, just sincere kindness she'd never known. And maybe, just maybe, this was where she could finally breathe. After hearing rumors that Hyo-ri had officially dropped out of school, her mother, Jian, went straight to the campus to confirm it herself. The truth hit hard. Hyo-ri was no longer enrolled. Jian stood there in silence, disappointment and guilt weighing down on her. How had she missed the signs? Her friend tried to console her. You can't drag her back by force. What you can do now is try to understand her. Be Hyo-ri, even for a moment. Think like her, feel what she's chasing. In a moment of inspiration, her friend took a photo of Jian and opened Instagram. If I were Hyo-ri, I'd post something. After scrolling for a while, she exclaimed, here it is. Her latest post, the picture showed a small flower shop in the background. They recognized the place instantly and rushed to the village. Meanwhile, Hyo-ri and her friend had already arrived. After their unexpected journey, they found themselves surrounded by curious yet kind-hearted villagers. The village women greeted them with concern, then smiles, then food. "You're lucky," one of the women grinned. "This house makes the best food in town. I should know, I'm the first female village chief in our history." Laughter filled the room as everyone warmed up to each other. The meal was delicious, and the villagers proudly introduced themselves. Just then, a new man appeared, a tall, charming stranger whose smile made several women whisper among themselves with excitement. One even joked, "He's the heartthrob of this whole area." Soon, the girls were brought to a small architecture office at the edge of the village. "The owner is grumpy," one whispered. "Avoid trouble if you can." Hiyori and her friend exchanged amused glances. The man who had caught everyone's attention earlier turned out to be part of the architectural team. As introductions went around, the air buzzed with both awkwardness and curiosity. Back in town, Jian was still making her way there, unaware that she was just one step away from finding her daughter. The peaceful village had suddenly turned into a stage for reunions, unexpected meetings, and stories yet to unfold. But for now, the pain of separation was softened by warm rice, cheerful conversation, and a quiet hope. Maybe, just maybe, Hiyori was ready to be found. After a long and determined journey, Hiyori's mother finally arrived at the village where her daughter was staying. Exhausted but resolute, she approached a local resident and showed them a photo. "Excuse me, have you seen this girl?" she asked, holding up her phone. The person looked at the image, then their eyes widened. "Oh, Hiyori? She's over there," they said, pointing toward a nearby house. Soon, mother and daughter locked eyes. Hiyori looked startled, while her mother struggled to contain a mix of relief and frustration. Without wasting time, the mother confronted her daughter. "Pack your things. We're going home," she demanded firmly. Hiyori resisted. A heated argument followed, the kind that comes from deep love and deeper misunderstanding. Her mother couldn't accept that Hiyori had dropped out of medical school, a place that was hard to enter and had brought pride to the family. "Do you know how hard it is to get into that school? People dream of it," her mother shouted. "I know, I worked so hard to get in." Hiyori fired back, eyes welling with tears. "But I told you from the beginning, medicine isn't for me." "I wasn't happy, but why throw away such a bright future?" her mother asked. "Is that my future, or yours?" Hiyori replied, her voice trembling. Before the conversation could go further, a friend interrupted, mentioning that the camper van had broken down and they couldn't leave yet. As they prepared to head off, Hiyori suddenly called out, "Mom, wait, I need to tell you something." Her mother turned back, clearly irritated. "Say it quickly. We need to leave before sunset. I've been diagnosed with a brain tumor." Silence fell like a weight in the air. What did you just say?" "I have a brain tumor," Hiyori repeated calmly. Her mother's face turned pale. Her hands trembled. "Are you serious?" "Yes. When did you find out?" "Which hospital?" she asked, already stepping forward. They went straight to the hospital. In the consultation room, the doctor showed them a scan of Hiyori's brain. A bright, irregular area stood out. "This is likely a primary tumor," the doctor explained. "To confirm the diagnosis, we'll need to remove it surgically and conduct a biopsy." In that moment, everything changed. The arguments, the expectations, they all faded. What mattered now wasn't the future her mother had once planned, but simply making sure her daughter had a future at all.
After hearing the doctor's explanation about Hiyori's brain tumor, the world seemed to stop. Sitting near the terminal, Hiyori and her mother remained quiet, both lost in thought. Her mother tried to stay strong and encouraging. "You need to fight. You're strong. We'll find the best hospital. We'll get through this together." But Hiyori stared blankly ahead. Her voice trembled as she said, "I'm tired, Mom. I've lived so harshly all this time, chasing something that was never truly mine. Now, I just want to live quietly. I want to live my own life, even if just for a little while longer." Her mother froze. Those words hit her like a slap. For the first time, she realized she hadn't truly been listening to her daughter. "I'll stay in Changha for now, alone. I need some time to myself." Once I'm ready, I'll come back to Seoul, Hyori continued softly. With a heavy heart, her mother nodded. They parted at the terminal. Hyori headed to her temporary place, while her mother went home. Night fell. Back at home, the mother sat alone in silence. She tried to sleep, but her eyes remained wide open. Restless, she got up and began cleaning the house, sweeping the floor, tidying things up, wiping windows, as if trying to scrub away the sadness that clung to every corner. But nothing could erase the ache in her heart. In the stillness, she picked up her phone and called an old friend. Her tears flowed before she even heard the voice on the other end. Not long after, her friend came rushing over. As soon as she opened the door and saw her, they embraced, crying together without saying a word. Grief, guilt, fear, they all poured out in that silent hug. I didn't even know she was sick, the mother whispered between sobs. She went to the hospital all by herself. Her friend tried to comfort her, even as her own tears fell. We don't know what will happen next. But whatever it is, let's face it together, okay? That night, in the quiet of the house, two women cried together. Their tears were not just for the illness, but for the fear of losing, and the regret of not realizing sooner. And in those tears, there was a small hope, maybe tomorrow would be a little better. Or at least, they wouldn't be alone facing it.